Hello, folks, and good morning. So, welcome to today's episode for our family pregame breakdown. We're doing it today because, obviously, as I stated on the Running Gun podcast Wednesday night, and then I'm pretty sure I stated it last week too. Wait, did I say it last week? Yeah, I think I stated it last week as well. So, I'm going to be at the UCF Oklahoma State game Saturday. So, I don't think I would have time to do this, but hopefully, I'm able to get back in time to recap this game between FAMU and Lincoln. So, hopefully, that's able to go down as planned and as follows. But obviously, we'll see with all things. Same deal will be the case next week as far as this goes for the Florida Classic. So, Florida Classic breakdown next week at 11:12 p.m. ish. Haven't decided yet. We'll see. But honestly, though, hey, we made it finally to the final home game of the season. It's been a heck of a season. Only tasted defeat one time. Let's keep it that way. You welcome in a Lincoln team that's 0-11 that has yet to really find anything living or anything dead, really, as far as anything to take advantage of. So there's that as well, too. It's senior day. So you're sending off the seniors in their final regular season home game with a bang. And then after this, of course, you go to Orlando and then you come right back home again for a SWAC championship game that you're going to host against who? We don't know yet, but we all think it's Alcorn State. But yeah, with that being said, as you know, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. As always, be sure to leave a comment as well too if you're up this early watching this on this Friday morning, wherever you may be. But of course, as you know, we're going to talk about it, FAMU, Lincoln, players to watch, as well also to answering a couple questions. Looking at the SWAC West race again after last week, and of course we recapped it a little bit on the Running Gun podcast Wednesday night, but we're going to talk about it again here. Also, we're going to talk about, as I stated earlier, players to watch, your thoughts, score predictions, everything such as that. So with that being said, don't go anywhere. Get comfortable. You might as well like, share, and subscribe to the channel, of course, because you're going to come and watch this video anyway. So get comfy, relax. It's going to be a fun one. This is the final home game. We're looking for home win number 19. Let's go. Also, too, happy birthday, Coach Devin Rispers. Meant to say that as well, but let's go. All right. So with that being said, let's go ahead and dive right into it. So as follows, and honestly, I had to really, really dig to find anything on Lincoln. So let's go ahead and let's start with FAMU. So FAMU, now it's all been set in stone after a win last week at Alabama A&M. So as follows, FAMU will host a postseason football game for the first time since the 1998 FCS playoffs, where they beat Troy. As well, too, Willie Simmons named Junior Muratovich the starter for this week, so that means Jeremy Musa will get the much-needed rest. And those of you that have been so critical of Jeremy Musa, you guys finally get your wish, and you will see Junior Muratovich. So, look, everybody's happy. If you're happy, great, good, awesome. Everybody got their wish. Let's keep on pushing forward now. And let's go ahead and leave that in the past. So with that being said as well, too, if you watched Willie Simmons' live show on Facebook Live Monday night, Lovey Jenkins stated, We played well, but we gave up 28 points too many. They're not satisfied with that performance. Quite honestly, who should be? If anything, if I'm the Dark Cloud defense going forward, these next 2 games in the regular season, I'm putting on good film. That way, whoever I do see in the SWAC championship has to go like, oh crap, we have to go against that. So if anything, going forward, I feel sorry for Lincoln tomorrow, and I feel sorry for who when we get to Orlando. Because honestly, I think the next 2 weeks are going to be balls to the wall as far as defensive displays and defensive clinics, as far as emphasizing taking the ball away and things such as that. As well, too, they help the Dark Cloud defense as far as a rushing attack goes in their 42-28 win over Alabama A&M last week. They held Alabama A&M to 58 yards rushing. And currently, this team is ranked 9th in the country according to the AFCA Top 25 polls. That is their highest ranking since 2001. And also, too, if they continue to move up in the polls next week and manage to climb to 8th, that would be FAMU's highest ranking since 2000. And then let's say FAMU cracks the top 5. If FAMU can climb to 5th after this week, if some chaos ensues between, 8th and the 4th best team in the country right now. I know South Dakota State and Furman are top 2 as it stands at the moment. But if chaos were to ensue this weekend as well in front of FAMU and NC Central, then, there's a possibility you could see FAMU climbing to the top 5. And 5th would be FAMU's highest ranking coming into a Florida Classic since 1998. So there's still room to climb. They haven't really achieved their goal yet, but there's still room to climb. As well, too, 348 yards of total offense, 245 passing, 103 rushing last week by FAMU. FAMU's defense ranks 5th in the FCS, and Anthony Dunn dropped from 5th all the way to 8th in the FCS in sacks. 12 penalties for 106 yards last week, and Willie Simmons addressed that. I know a lot of people don't like that, but Willie Simmons addressed it as follows, saying, I think he said he felt like guys pressed a little too hard there, and then plus you had like about a dozen pass interference calls, one of which I believe it ended in FAMU getting a four and out. Then another one ended with Javon Morgan getting an interception. So it all worked out in the end. Excellent job by FAMU's defense, honestly, but still, I'm like Lovey Jenkins. You gave up 28 points too many last week, and the next 2 weeks you need to play with a purpose. Because if I'm looking at it, you haven't played your best game yet. You're still striving for perfection, if you ask me. Now, as far as players to watch goes for tomorrow, for once, it's not Jeremy Moose at quarterback. It's Junior Muratovich, who on the season cumulative total, 4 out of 5 passing, 80% completion percentage, 56 yards passing this season, has not thrown a touchdown pass this season, so hopefully we'll get his shot to throw one tomorrow. Terrell Jennings last week, 8 carries, 40 yards, 1 touchdown. Marcus Riley, 3 receptions, 71 yards, 1 TD. Offensively, back by committee, I think you're going to see some different faces. You're going to still see Terrell Jennings, Jaquez and Kelvin Dean, but I think you're going to see those guys maybe for a half. So enjoy it, because I think that this game is going to get out of hand pretty quickly. So I think you're going to see guys like Leland Woolhoit, possibly, because I know there's a new redshirt rule. I think you can play 4 games with that before your redshirt gets burnt. So I think you're going to see Levante Bowler-Somerset. You're probably going to see on defense Justin Bostic. You're going to probably see a lot of young guys come in and play. You're going to probably see Amari Lee is going to be another guy that's probably going to play the majority of the game in the secondary, which also, too, you point to certain players to watch. And this is another guy that I think may not even truly start Saturday. He may not. Isaiah Major, who's the heartbeat on that defense in the middle. 8 total tackles, half a tackle for loss, 1 pass breakup, 2 QB hits last week. That's a guy that I think may not start. Possibly. Who knows? We'll see. He may get a half. He may get a quarter. This is one of those games where you have to look at it like NFL preseason, where it's like you get guys in, get them some work, get a good sweat going, get them out. No need to go above and beyond and try to put 70 up on this team. As well, too, defensive back Lovie Jenkins, who, by the way, he and Eric Smith have been playing very exceptional football the last couple of weeks since the Texas Southern game. They've looked really well, both of them. For Lovie Jenkins last week, 9 total tackles, 4 assists, 5 solo, 2 tackles for loss, 1 sack, 1 punt return TD off of a block. And then also 2 defensive back Kendall Bowler, who I also think will see limited action this week because there's no need to really just take him the distance. 8 total tackles, 6 assists, 2 solo, 4 pass breakups. It was a very impressive game last week. But yeah, honestly, all these guys that I just named, I think at the most, with the exception of Murtovich possibly playing maybe 3 quarters, depending on how out of hand this gets, I think the rest of these guys, I don't think these guys play more than one half. They shouldn't. I think you're going to see a lot of young guys and a lot of guys that you haven't normally seen get play time. Now, TJ Demis, guys like that along the offensive line, I think that they will see time in this game. But guys like Cesar Reyes and Cameron Coven, guys like that, I think they get pulled. Now, at the same time, too, what are you hoping to gain out of this? You're hoping to gain quality reps. You're hoping to gain experience. You're hoping to see who is going to be a provider for you in 2024. I know as much as we don't want to look ahead too far yet, it's like at some point you kind of have to. You have to think about the future. And this is one of the best times where you can, while also too focusing on in the moment, realizing, okay, like what do we have to work with for next season? This is a game where it's like, okay, do we need to address this in recruiting or do we not need to address this in recruiting? This is one of those occurrences because it's like, okay, I'm seeing that he's made progress since fall camp. We can depend on him. Or, oh, he may not be what we need going into 2024. We need to look to the portal or we need to recruit this. This is what that type of game is. As well, too, what challenges does the defense still need to answer? Quite honestly, this defense, I do believe, has not pitched a shutout this season yet. Yeah, this defense hasn't pitched a shutout yet this season, so that's still a challenge for the defense. So best believe here with the last 2 games of the season still looming, that's something that this defense is going to want to do. And it's going to either happen this weekend, and if it doesn't happen this weekend, they're going to be trying to do it against a certain somebody next weekend. So you have 2 shots in the regular season to go for a shutout. And that's something I think that this defense still needs to answer the bell on. Can this team string together another complete game? I think that they will. And I will explain why when I get to Lincoln. Why is this game important for Murtovich? As I stated earlier, this is a game where Junior Murtovich, I think he needed this game to kind of prove, I can command this offense. Remember, he got his shot in 2021, didn't really do too hot with it, kind of fumbled the bag there a little bit. And then Rashawn McKay came back and took over and led this team to a 9-3 record and to the FCS playoffs. I think Murtovich needs this game because it's a good evaluation for him to see, what progress has he made so far. And it's against a lesser competition, a D2 team out of California that has to come across multiple time zones. That is undersized. That's not that good. And he can kind of just, work the kinks out, show, hey, you know what? I am that valuable backup. This is why you recruited me. This is why you've invested so much in me. And I'm your guy for 2024. So that's all the check boxes that you want to be able to answer on Murtovich for Saturday. Is this team really just prepping for Bethune? Are they? Look, quite honestly, I'll say it like this. You remember that college football playoff? I think it was back in 2016. Clemson played Ohio State. And what happened was Dabo said, these boys are genuinely in trouble. And he knew Clemson was going to blow out Ohio State. He didn't even bother preparing for Ohio State because he knew Clemson was just so much better. He went straight to prepping for Alabama. So in that case, is that what's going on here? Possibly. You never want to underestimate an opponent, but at the same time too, it's like, realistically speaking, the same principles that you want to apply on Bethune, you can apply them to Lincoln, and just work out the kinks. Figure out what's going to work in the game plan, what's not going to work, get an idea of what's going to work, get an idea of what's not going to work, throw some things in, take some things out, and just keep it rolling like that. Now, at the same time, too, does that mean don't watch film on Lincoln? No. Watch film on Lincoln still. But there's a fine line, I think, as far as like what you can implement, what you can't implement, and like how to approach both. So I think you can honestly, in my opinion, I think it's okay to start looking ahead and prepping for Bethune now. Because honestly, I'll be real with you. I spent maybe 15 minutes looking at this Lincoln team, and I was not at all impressed. Now for Lincoln, it's as follows. Their last game out, they lost to Southern Utah 6-35. They have only scored 20 points or more one time this season. This is a very bad team. They're going to come into today 0-12. They have not won a game yet this year. They do want to establish a running attack. They're undersized up front. They look unathletic, and they look out of shape. From what I've seen, they look in the trenches. They do not look like they physically match up well at all. Not even against the second or third strings. I do not think that they match up that well at all. This FAMU offensive line and this FAMU front seven on defense should have a field day. Just bullying Lincoln. You should be pushing them around. They should be pulling turf beads out of their face mask and wiping it off their face all game long. This should not be fair. Also, too, against Southern Utah, they surrendered 474 yards of total offense, 168 rushing, 288 passing. Honestly, the run game should have a field day with this team. 253 yards of total offense for Lincoln, 149 passing, 104 rushing. They did manage to score 2 interceptions. They do have some ball hawks. And honestly, I will say, I'll give them a little credit. I watched their tape against Southern on YouTube. They got a little fight in them. And I think early on, Southern wasn't expecting that. But they got a little fight in them. So, that was earlier in the season now. It's like, okay, now they've played a couple games, gotten their juice together. FAMU's got their juice together and everything such as that. Still, you realize now they have fight to them. Don't let them come in here and get confident. Don't think, oh, well, we've already locked up the SWAC East. We're already going to host a game in Florida Classics next week. No, do not look ahead. This is a team where, and I shouldn't say it like this, but I'll say it. Look, I'm going to put it like this, clear cut. And if you're a person that gets easily irritated, or if you're a person that gets easily triggered by little nuances or sayings, I suggest that you cut this video off now. Many coaches will tell you, I don't care if you're playing the school for the blind. You beat the dog piss out of a team like this. You step on their throat and you end it early. You do not let this team breathe or have any type of confidence. Exactly, a mosquito with an axe. That's what you have to do to Lincoln. Do not let them think, oh, well, geez, we can play with these guys, and they're the SWAC East champs, and they're potentially supposed to be the best team in the SWAC. They're the 9th best team in the FCS, and we're playing with them. No, do not give them that type of confidence. You go out here and you end this early. You end this in the first 5 minutes or on the opening kickoff and let them know, like, no, you cannot play with us. You would not last 5 seconds in the SWAC. That's the message that you have to send. You wouldn't last 5 minutes with us, and you cannot play with us. And we are going to end this early, and we're going to hit you fast. We're going to hit you often. We don't care how far you came. We don't care what your name on the front of the jersey is. We don't care about the fact that Gary Payton, as someone stated in the comment section last week, we don't care if Gary Payton is the women's basketball coach at your school. We are going to end this early. So you get this out the way early and often, and then you move forward. And then we can go all hands on deck for next week and in 2 weeks after that. Now, as far as their players to watch goes, TJ Goodwin is their quarterback, 17 of 33, 139 yards, 2 interceptions last week, 11 carries for 56 yards, and 1 TD, lone TD for them last week. Dominique Latham is their running back, 4 carries, 33 yards. Their wide receiver, Otis Way, 5 receptions, 56 yards. Also, their other wide receiver, Andrew Williams, 3 receptions, 35 yards. And then on defense, it's hard to distinguish who plays where. Isaiah Robinson, 9 total tackles, 4 assists, 5 solo. Kobe Jenkins, 6 total tackles, 5 assists, 1 solo, 1 interception, 1 pass breakup. And then Dylan Wade, 5 total tackles, 4 assists, 1 solo, 1 tackle for loss, 1 interception. So, yeah, no, dude, look, they got some ball hogs. Prediction: Junior scores 2 TDs, 300 plus rushing yards. Defense and special teams get scores. FAMU wins by 30 plus. They'll probably get a TD or field goal. It's third string and 4. Yeah, no, that makes sense. That sounds about right, honestly. Yeah, I would love to see Junior Murtovich come in and just sling it and just have success early and often. Honestly, this is a game where if I'm Murtovich, I'm trying to light the score up. I'm trying to light it up. I am sending a message if I'm Junior Murtovich, not only to Lincoln, but I'm sending a message to the rest of the SWAC. I'm sending a message to the coaching staff. I'm sending a message to my teammates saying, you know what? When Musa leaves, don't worry. I got us. And this is just me against a weaker competition. I'm going to get better from this. That's the message I think personally Junior Murtovich should try to deliver. But at the same time, too, just be yourself, play your game, be cool, calm, and collected. Don't try to overachieve or underachieve if you're at the quarterback position. You got to be cool. But I could see that stat line happening. I definitely could. Kev from Tallahassee. Facts. Speak Junior. I love to see a 60-point game, but I respect Willie's decision. Yeah, honestly. And, if Musa did play, I think that this game would be more of a 50-60 burger. But I think with Murtovich going in there and everything, I think that it's likely not going to go that way because of the fact of the matter is like he hasn't played. He hasn't played a whole lot. So he has kinks he's gonna have to work off. He has rust he's gonna have to work off. But when he gets that flow going, look out. Because that's when he needs to start to send the message. So for Lincoln, why is there still a lot to fight for? You're 0-11. You're fighting. If you're Lincoln, you're coming in here trying to find a win. Will they be able to have success running the ball because they are a running team? I doubt it. How do they stay motivated at 0-11? You just got to hope today's the day. That's all you can do if you're Lincoln. But I doubt that that's going to happen. Are they trending in the right direction still as a team, as a Division II team that's still trying to find their way? I commend them for what they're trying to do. They're trying to, go against greater competition, and they want to see where they can take their program. But I'm going to tell you now, Lincoln is not West Florida. Lincoln's going to get the doors blown off of them. Sorry. How do you even keep this game close if you're Lincoln? You got to come in here and you got to believe. That's the only way possible. You come in and you believe you can play with this team. That's the only way you keep this game close. But quite honestly, you look at Lincoln on tape, they look unathletic. Offensive line, defensive line look unathletic. They look out of shape. They look like guys that literally just picked up shoulder pads yesterday. Hate to draw the comparison like someone said, but they look like a Bishop Sycamore. These boys are in trouble the minute they get off that plane. Plus, the fact of the matter, too, is I don't think that they've played a game in Florida yet. I'm not sure what the temperature is like in North Florida right now, but that Florida humidity they're going to feel it. Even though it's still a 6 o'clock game, the sun's going to be down, they're going to feel it. Good morning, sir. How are you? Perfect opportunity to see Junior to see if he's that guy next year. Yeah, no, it is. It is. And that's, as I've stated earlier, it's critical. This is a critical game for him. So, I mean, we can all kind of just start making our Florida Classic plans. But, if you're this team and you're a guy like Junior Muratovich, today is the day that you need. And then, honestly, next week, even still, if you're Junior Muratovich, hopefully Moose and company can go in there and blow the doors off of Bethune early and often. And then the fourth quarter can just strictly be Junior Muratovich's, and he can try to orchestrate a couple of TD drives again. Bishop Sycamore College. Yeah, no, they are. They are. I don't know what you get. Yeah, he should. Honestly, I hope to see the performance that he had against Mississippi Valley Saturday. And I hope to see it to a greater degree, times 10. Leland Woolwhite should have a crazy performance for the better. I would incorporate him on punts, kickoffs, line him up in the backfield. Zaire Riley, who is another player that I think should get time. All of those guys should have field days. Yeah, Leland should be able. Yeah, he should. Yeah, he should. I think he will. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and dive right into the keys to victory here. So key to victory number 1, as I stated earlier, I don't care if this was the school for the blind. Establish your dominance. Take them out of their misery early. Do not let them breathe. Don't let them believe. You end this type of game early, and it's in the comment section. Yeah, as Kylan said, kill the mosquito with an axe. I hope Somerset. Yeah, I hope so too. I really hope so too. This is, and I was saying that earlier. It's the NCAA made a new rule now where it's like, it was actually a couple years ago, I'm sure. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, where you can play 4 games before your red shirt gets burnt. So guys like Somerset, if he has been redshirted, and guys like, Justin Bostic, who have come in to this program. And I mean, I'm sure Zaire Riley, I'm sure he's not redshirted, but he's another guy too. It's like guys like that you want to see play. So I think that they can play this game and still keep their red shirts. Yeah. He should. I'm hopeful he will. Kareem Burke, Hunter All-Pro. Yeah, I think. Yeah, and I agree with this too. He should be the Swiss Army knife. Line him up in the backfield, line him up out wide, let him just go crazy. This is a game where Kareem Burke can explode as well. The combination of 7 and 5 for next season could be a prequel of that. If Junior has a great game, do you give him a chance against BCU? Something like Martin Ukpa did. Just ask. I would give him an opportunity late in the game. I would still start Musa. I'd still put all the starters out there because you got to remember, you got a guy like, and Bethune's going to play up. Even though Bethune is a 2-win team and horrible, they're going to play up in that game. Because don't forget, Amari Hill Robinson still has beef with Marcus Riley. Whether they squashed or whether they didn't, but that's still there. And you're going to need Moose out there throwing Marcus Riley passes. Because Amari Hill Robinson back at SWAC Media Day, remember, said, you know what? I want Marcus Riley. I want him for the majority of the game. And everybody kept saying, you don't. So there's a lot added there. If that's the case, I wouldn't put Junior in right away to start. Fourth quarter, when the game gets out of hand, yeah. And let him do what he does. And let him just give him hell, Willie. It's a rivalry game. Let Junior air it out. Let him throw a couple touchdown passes. But you gotta remember too, Martin Opie played in that 2009 Florida Classic because Curtis Pulley had a groin injury, and and Joe Taylor was so confident that they were going to make the FCS playoffs, and they still got left out. So it's a scenario where it's like, yeah, Moose has got to play. But yeah, that's key to victory number 1. Establish dominance. Key to victory number 2, work Junior into a flow early. Set him up with some quick play action passes or whichever type of style works best for him. If it's play action, quick passes like how you work it for Musa, go that route. If it's simply just quick, short routes, hitches, curls, things such as that, guys coming across the middle, little intermediate 8 to 10 yard routes, run that. But find what works well for him. I'm sure Willie Simmons knows what works well for Muratovic, and stick with it and get him in that flow early. That way, it doesn't break his rhythm. Bethune is like that homeboy you're better than B-ball, but you still have to play hard to beat him. Yeah, exactly. It's a rivalry just like anything else. It's just like, like many of us, regardless of if you're a Florida State or a Miami fan, many of us believe this weekend Florida State should beat the doors off Miami. It's in Tallahassee. It's at home. Florida State should dominate them. But at the same time, too, it's not going to be easy. Florida State should dominate Florida this year, but it's not going to be easy. Be careful what you – exactly. So, and this is why I say, it's – on paper, it's not it should be a blowout, but there's some old demons and feelings there still. Raymond Woody played at Bethune. He's going to have them ready to play next week. And then you got the jawing back and forth between the two with Marcus Riley and Omari Hill Robinson. It's going to be personal. And honestly, I was going to save it for next week, but things like that are what this rivalry needs. This rivalry needs a shot in the arm for next week, because it's been missing for a while. Truthfully speak, if we're being completely honest, it's been missing since 2010. Really, since the hazing death of Robert Champion, it's been missing. But that old like vibe of the energy that we used to feel inside the old Citrus Bowl, it's been missing since Billy Joe and Alvin Wyatt both left, and it needs to come back. And sometimes little things like that are kind of what kickstarts it. Run the ball efficiently. Yeah. Yep, you do. Do you think we will see Ja'Cory or DJ against Lincoln? That's a good question. I hope to see both, really. I hope you can honestly intertwine them all and kind of just give one, hopefully give Junior one to give him the first half and maybe the first 8 minutes of the third quarter, and then give Ja'Cory and DJ Boney the last half of the game. Yeah, no, I see that. Honestly, no, I hope he does break records this weekend. The rivalry needs both teams at 8+ wins. It does. It honestly does. It's what would be great for college football. It's what would be great for HBCU football. If Junior does his job, absolutely. Yeah. Yep. If Junior does his job and does what he's supposed to do, and even just runs the offense fluidly, and that comes with even checking the runs. If he does his job as he should, you will see Ja'Cory Jordan, you will see DJ Boney. I'm confident. Because this is a game where, honestly, you just pad your stats, man. Just pad your stats. But also, so key to victory number 3, as I stated, get the quality reps. Get the quality reps. Get guys in that need to be put in. Let them put on some good film. And you keep it rolling. Let me see. Is it going to pop up? It is. Okay. This team is deep, and the gap between 1 and 2 is marginal. Yeah, this team is very deep. I was actually watching the homecoming game, and that's something Jay Walker alluded to, is like how deep FAMU's front is on defense, or even listening to Willie Simmons mention it about Gentle Hunt. Gentle Hunt doesn't even start on the defensive line, from what Willie Simmons was saying. He's a rotational player, and he's going to be one of probably first-team SWAC for postseason honors, which is insane. That's a testament to how deep this team is. And honestly, too, there's one else. I will say, almost forgot to mention him. There's one other person that I also would count as a player to watch for Saturday. Tevin Griffey. I would love to see Tevin Griffey get involved. I would love to see him become, the shot caller in the secondary for a game like this. Show that, what, his time has come and that he's ready to finally step into that role outside of special teams and play and assert his dominance. I would love to see him get involved as well on punts or kickoffs. Incorporate him hugely on that defensive end. Send him on some corner blitzes. That's another guy that I think this game came at a perfect time for a guy like that. He made his mark known on homecoming and, towards the end of last season on special teams, but that's another guy that I think needed a game like this weekend. And I think he will take full advantage of it. Yeah, exactly. Yep, same. And that's a statement I definitely agree with. It's going to be a while. You got to give Raymond Woody time. He's a former Taggart assistant, and personally, I don't think that highly of Taggart guys, but we'll see what happens. But with that, I can go ahead and give my score prediction. Y'all go ahead and drop y'all's in the comment section. I'm actually going to agree with Ace from Wednesday night, and I'm going to go ahead and say FAMU wins this 45-3. If Musa was going to start this game and if they were going to go all hands on deck for probably about a quarter, I would say, FAMU might win this thing like 63-3 or like fifth. Initially, I was going to say 52-3, but then the word came out that Willie Simmons had named Murtovich the starter. So I'm going to go now, FAMU 45, Lincoln 3. I think Lincoln will probably get a late field goal or something. I think we'll have to wait another week for FAMU to get that complete shutout, and it would be bittersweet and feel great to just get it next week in Orlando. But we shall see. So yeah, I'm going with 45-3. I think FAMU makes light work of these guys, and we can all just go ahead and start making our plans for the Florida Classic very shortly thereafter. $63-3 at the half. If that happens, we need to set. We're gonna set an NCAA record for most points scored in the game, because in the second half they're gonna drop 100. They're going. Actually, you know what? That's actually a really interesting question. What is the NCAA record for most points scored in a game? Let's see, NCAA football record for most points. Okay, so. Oh wow, it's that. Okay, 222 by Georgia Tech when they defeated Cumberland in 1916. So I don't think it's gonna be like that. If it gets to be like that, I mean, I hate to say it like this, but I think Link will like 100. It's 222 by Georgia Tech. It's because Georgia Tech put up 222 points on Cumberland in 1916. So I don't think that we're gonna get something like that. But if that happens, I think Lincoln needs to just go ahead and cancel their football program, honestly. But, all in all, I'm hopeful that, I think this team gets out of this game with no injuries, minimal, no damage done. Of course, certain guys, as I said earlier, don't need to play. If you're a guy like Musa, give him a headset and a clipboard, or let him go up in the press box and watch it from the press box to get an understanding of, like, seeing the whole field of, like, what we've all wanted. So with that being said, yep, going with it, FAMU 45-3. With this being said now, I think it's safe to start basically prepping for Florida Classic and seeing what Bethune's going to present with. And I think that this team is going to walk into the Florida Classic at 9-1. So that's going to do it for me, folks. Oh, wait, hold on. Yikes. Yeah, I know. 222 points in a game is crazy. But again, football and just the way of the world was different back then. Back in the early 1900s, things were just different. Moose is going to be on the sidelines eating a Snickers bar. Yeah, probably would be. you can kick back and just relax. Just, don't do anything. Don't do anything. Stay as far away from just the action as possible. If you see the play coming towards you on the sideline, get away from it, Musa. Protect yourself. I heard the status don't count for this game. Is that true? Honestly, I think stats count for every game. I think the stats count for this game because, I mean, they've been keeping stats for every game that Lincoln's played in this year. Because they kept stats for, obviously, against Southern Utah. They kept stats for when Lincoln played Tennessee State. They kept the stats for when Lincoln played Southern. So I think stats count. They definitely count. Because, I get it. It's a Division I versus Division II matchup. But, the stats counted against West Florida as well. And West Florida is a Division II team. A high-profile Division II team. But, either way, it's still a Division II. So I think the stats should count. I wouldn't buy into that, honestly. Because honestly, it's like say for instance, if Murtovich goes out there and tosses an NCAA record of touchdown passes in a game, like say 8 or 9, regardless of the fact, that is still an NCAA record, and that still goes under Murtovich's name. So stats count. Stats, since they are not. Oh yeah. Yes, I definitely think stats count in this one because you got to count them. You got to because honestly, and I don't think this is going to happen either. Like, they are not a D2 team. Could have swore they were a D2 team. Let's see. It's Lincoln, California. D2 school. Yeah, it says here they're a Division II's program. Oh no, that's a different one. They're independent. Doesn't even say. Yeah, it just says they're independent. They played against the likes of Cal Poly. Interesting. They played a lot of teams though that are like high profile Division II, Division I AA schools. It's like Cal Poly and others. So it's up and coming. Wait, Lincoln University up and coming football Division I. This is so weird. Okay. I'm not sure how this works. I'm not sure how this is working out. Okay. They're just independent. Doesn't say anything much else. But honestly, all stats matter, like Kylan said. Because let's say that this game does go to overtime and it sets a new overtime record. It's going to be documented. Plenty of FCS teams out. What? Yeah, there is, honestly. Like for a while, I didn't know Sacramento State was the FCS team. Then finally, doing research, they are. There's plenty of others. Cal Poly, San Diego, who's in the same conference, ironically, as Stetson. That's another team that's out west, but in the same conference as a team like Stetson and Butler, who are on this side of the country. So, folks, that's going to do it for me. Hope you guys have enjoyed this video as much as I've enjoyed bringing it to you and everything. So there may or may not be a post-game reaction for this game come tomorrow. It depends on what time I can get back here. I know I should be back before this game is over. I'm hopeful that I will. But definitely just know the Florida Classic breakdown will be around this time next week on Friday as well, just because Saturday is going to be very hectic with a lot of stuff going on. Anyone know if the Lincoln game will be streamed? It should. I think it's going to be on ESPN Plus. Could have swore it was going to be on ESPN Plus. I think. Ooh, not coming up. I'm not sure. Hold on. Ooh. I'm not sure about that. Let's see. I can double check that and get back to you, Miss Meredith. Why won't any of them play them? Explain. Wait, yeah, explain this. Trying to figure out what you mean. Like, you mean like why won't like a Sacramento State or like a San Diego play a Lincoln? They probably will, because I mean Cal Poly did. We get to listen to Melvin Beal. Yeah. Yeah, well, we do. But I think, okay, there you go. Thanks. Yeah, I mean, hopefully, yeah, I'll get back to you on that, and I will look on it. Yeah, okay. So on the FAMU network, so we can't physically see it, unfortunately, but we'll definitely be able to hear it. Hopefully. Hi, I'm Melvin Beal. You're listening. Oh my goodness, I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to say anything. Oh my goodness, what a trip. But yeah, folks. Okay, yeah. So that's gonna do it for me. I hope you all have enjoyed. Again, we'll be back Wednesday for sure for the Running Gun podcast leading up to the Florida Classic. We'll be back again as well too. Definitely Friday before the Florida Classic, of course, and then after that, we got another one. SWAC Championship. We'll be live Saturday morning for that as well. So we'll have plenty to talk about as far as that goes and everything such as that. What's up, man? But yeah, so thank you so much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. Hope you've enjoyed this as much as I've enjoyed bringing it to you. Stay safe, stay blessed. Wait, hold up. We should be able to see the game from the website. Okay, hopefully they do broadcast it. But yeah, so as always, stay safe, stay blessed, enjoy the rest of your Friday. Enjoy the rest of your Friday afternoon, and enjoy your weekend as well. Have a blessed day.